over 6 figures in gross revenue. If you're a creator, a podcaster, small business owner, or just looking to get into creating your own content, there are some nuggets in here that I think are worth listening to that may be able to help you as well. I'm basically a creative to corporate, back to creative, or a corporate refugee is what I like to call it. Make sure I don't have any food on me, but I did make this video to hold me accountable to 2026 and to document the things that we did in 2025 in a video format. A little background on me. I am originally a creative. I applied and was accepted to Kansas City Art Institute taught music for a while, was a guitar player. I was also raised in a creative family. I just didn't see a big, bright future in it. There wasn't YouTube. The world was a much bigger place at that point, and it was a lot harder to see avenues where you could actually have a successful living being a creative. So I decided to go to college, pursued business, also went to business school, got a master's in business administration, spent 25 years in the corporate world. So love business, love creative. So I decided to turn back to the creative world. I own Blue Couch Studio here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a video-first content creation studio. We do a ton of podcasting. We really help businesses connect their voice to their ideal clients through podcasting, through content creation, through videos. The first one here is we have done over 100 podcast recordings. We did a podcast for the BBC. We did a podcast recording with Danny Oh Boy Connor. We had clients from other states coming through town and meeting people in Tulsa and booking our studio to do podcast recordings. We did podcast recordings with Tulsa University, big shows, small shows. We've done a lot of people's first recordings, and as well as our Tulsa Tempo, which is a nonprofit that I put together that helps local musicians. And we've been able to record 14 of those episodes this last year. So super proud of that. But probably closer to 120 podcast recordings coming out of Blue Couch Studio in 2025. Very proud of that. Over 6 figures in gross revenue. And this is our 3rd year full time. So sometimes it's easy to go, man, we're not where we want to be. But in reality, when you look at a 10-year time frame, going into your 3rd year, and if I look at a 10-year mark, we are on track to double what we did last year this year. So if we're on track to double, I mean, I can only imagine where we could be in 10 years. So if you're listening, you're here to most likely get some nuggets of wisdom. So inputs and outputs. All I can say about 2025 is it is a result of what inputs were put in. How much content did you create? How much did you show up? How early did you get to the studio? How many people did you reach out to? How many leads did you follow up on? From a business owner, the outputs are just a direct result of the inputs. Now, for the most part, if you just do more inputs, you're going to get way better and more outputs. But also look at what type of inputs you're putting in. We have a lot of opportunity in putting our own content out. We help people with other content, but not putting out enough inputs there. Therefore, we didn't get a lot of our leads through content creation. We did put a lot of input into our paid ads. So we had several ads running. We had one very, very profitable ad, and we had to put time into creating those ads, time into scripting, time into making sure that they were profitable, doing different versions of them, and so on and so forth. So the inputs we put into paid ads came back and paid us back with new customers, keeping us top of mind for customers that maybe aren't ready to buy. Outputs are the direct result of the amount of inputs you put in. So big lesson for me. Okay, so another lesson learned from 2025. Comfort can kill a business. So don't get comfortable. make sure that you are staying and enjoying that uncomfort of being an entrepreneur. The discomfort can accelerate your business. The longer you can live in it, the longer you can thrive off of it, that's what's going to help you grow and become the better version of yourself. And when I think about the corporate to creative refugee that I am, in the corporate world, you really are, or at least in my experience, you are chasing comfort. You're trying to find a good job. Good can be defined as easy, that pays good, right? So it's not too hard, but yet it pays good. And so when you're chasing that, you're really, in a way, you're chasing comfort. You're trying to find, oh, let me get to that next position, or let me get moved over to this position so I can find something that's just a little easier, that's something that's a little more comfortable, or to make my life a little bit more comfortable. I never thought about it that way until I started a business, because in the business world, there is no comfort. Every day is, you got to get up and get after it, or you don't have a business anymore. There's no one knocking on your door. There's no time cards to clock in on. It's you. And so if you're looking for comfort as an entrepreneur or a business owner, you're really looking for your business to die. So there's plenty of places in the corporate world to find a little nook or cranny to get comfortable in, that steady salary, that perfect insurance that they set up, and all the benefits. All those things can be very, very beneficial, and in many cases, necessities. But as a business owner and entrepreneur, don't underestimate how challenging it can be. And so you have to really enjoy the uncomfortable. You have to go, all right, like you have to almost find a motivation in the fact that if you don't do it, it won't get done. And I wear many hats still. I'm still pretty early in my entrepreneur world. And wearing many hats means some things you're doing you're not that great at, but other things you're fantastic at. And you can't just focus on the things you're fantastic at, because you've got to wear a few hats. Now, we've been blessed this year to be able to have some team members help at Blue Couch Studio, which has really taken a big weight off my shoulders and been able to help me focus on what I'm great at. And so I want to continue to do that. But to do that, you obviously got to show up every day and grow the business. So, all right, another lesson learned. You don't need more ideas. You just need better execution. I tend to plan, and that's probably my corporate background. Oh, we need to make a plan for this. We need to get a plan and get everybody on board. Well, that just slows things down. The more plans we have, the worse. In fact, just getting straight into the execution is the way to go. And this is a lesson. So this is something I had to learn, spending too much time planning for something instead of just actually getting in and doing it. The way I learned this is so many of our projects this last year, I'm not the decision maker. I'm just the person that helps get stuff done. So we're forced into an execution role. We show up, we're there, we're here to help. And so you have to go into, how do we make this happen without a plan quite often in this business, or at least in our business. We book and set up our podcast studios in advance for our clients. So when they get there, they can sit down and the camera's on them. It's ready to go. The audio is ready to go. But there's times where our clients are like, no, we have an extra guest, or, oh, we want to do talking head, or no, we don't want to use this set. We actually want to use this set. So a lot of changes can happen quickly. So learning to just execute is super important. Another example is, we didn't create as much content as I would have liked in 2025 for our own business to showcase what we can do. And it's because we spent too much time planning. Like, oh, we should do this video. We should try to do this. We should do that, instead of just doing it and seeing what happens. So this lesson obviously is going to be a pillar of what we're going to be doing in 2026 going forward. So hope to see more of you guys out there through the content we're creating, and hopefully some value we're creating. Another lesson learned, and this is from our business model, but education creates trust before the sale ever happens. So if you have a really good platform like a podcast or regular video content, and people begin to trust you by watching you, listening to you, hearing what you have to say and agreeing with it, when it comes time to make a sale, that sale's pretty much done. It's almost like getting a referral. If you get a referral from someone you trust, hey, I heard you guys were pretty good, they the referral is enough for them to say, hey, all right, I want to see if you can work for me. And you're pretty much sold. If you're just relying on referrals, it could be gaps between those referral times. But if you have referrals coming in and you're creating trust building content at the same time, you're going to have a lot more consistent, you're going to have a lot easier time in the sales process when it comes time to actually sitting down and talking to a client about what you do. They're going to trust you and they're going to be ready to buy. We've had a lot of experience with that this year, and it's been a fantastic lesson that we've learned. Unfortunately, 2025 wasn't all accomplishments. There were some loss as well. I did lose my father in 2025, and that was, to any of you have ever experienced loss, you know what I'm talking about. It really sets you back into reality. It makes you really aware of the time on this earth and how short it is, and that we're all destined for the same place. If you don't make the most of what you've got and you don't ignore the, BS that's littering up your life, or the noise, there's a lot of noise in today's world, and focus on what you want to do. If you don't do those things, you're not gonna have the fulfillment that you want. And luckily, on a blessing side, I was able to spend a lot of time with my father before he passed. We did some recordings together here in my studio, also at the church studio. And I'll cherish those final moments we had, and I'm glad we had them. So I'm blessed, but also, saddened by his loss. As you may or may not know, he was a big piece in why we founded Blue Couch Studio. Hence the name Blue. It's my last name that, he passed down to me. And a lot of the equipment in here has been passed down to me from other people, from previous bandmates that have passed away. And we've inherited that, some of that equipment. And now at this point, a lot of my dad's equipment is housing the studio here, and it'll go to good use, making more music, audio productions going forward. So happy about that. But losing a parent isn't easy, as you guys know. And for me, it was and has been one of the most challenging things in my life. When someone's there one day and then they're not the next day. And it's scary and kind of foggy looking ahead. And I find myself at times going, hey, let me call Dad, and can't do that. So I'm left with his memories, and now, having spent as much time as I have with him, I know what he would say in so many certain ways. But I will tell you this: a couple years back, he lost both of his parents, or both of my grandparents. Probably 8-10 years back. But I asked him, I was like, "You ever think of your mom and dad?" Just asking him, curious, and he was like, "I think of them every single day." He's like, "And I hear their voices, and I know they're with me." And so I know what he meant by that now, and appreciate you listening to me share that. But that was unfortunately a loss in 2025. But resilience is the way to be. You can't let the challenging things drag you down. You can only let them fuel you and awake you and inspire you that time on earth is short. Spend it doing what you want to do. Spend it effectively and make the most of what you got, and kiss and hug your loved ones. All right, there you go. Protecting time. Time is our most valuable resource, but I don't want to have a successful business and then an unsuccessful family or personal life or bad health. So making sure I allot the proper amount of time every morning to get the gym, making sure I allot the proper amount of time to put nutrition in and make the right choices for food, meal prepping if needed, and then making time for family is super important for me and us here at Blue Couch. You can grow your business over time faster and probably, beat everybody if you're working 100 hours a week. That's how I used to do it. That was how I climbed the corporate ladder, was working when no one else was working. So I just caught up with everybody and surpassed everybody because I outworked everyone. But at this point in my life, I want a successful business. It might just take a little bit longer because I want to make sure that I get the balance in weekly of health, get the balance in weekly of spending time with family, and making sure that they know that they're the most important things in my life. And I do have a little youngin', and that has been reinvigorating as well, to make sure that he gets time with his dad. And I think that's just as important as growing your business. Anyone that knows me, I talk nothing but business all the time. I'm business. And growing the business to be successful would not be successful if everything else surrounding the business wasn't also healthy. So that's a big initiative in 2026, is to make sure we continue to live by that mantra. Man, this was a big one too. I was able to partner with Will from Citizens of Sound, who's an absolutely fantastic podcast producer here in Tulsa. And we soft launched our school course. And there we're able to help people get started podcasting. We're able to take people that are already podcasting and help them grow their show, or find methods to monetize or market your show. And the cool thing is it's freemium. So you can start for free. You can have access to the community. We already have almost 50 people in our community at this point. And we soft launched late September. So we've only been doing this for a few months in 2025. So we're looking to get more VIP clients out of that. And we're looking to continue to grow our content there and educate and give back through the free part of that. And super proud of that accomplishment this last year. We had no idea if we were going to be able to get it up and running, but we were able to get some modules in there. We do a weekly webinar where we educate people and help them with their Q&A. And we are updating content and training content as often as we can. And so I look forward to this course being a huge community of like-minded people that want to podcast for business, that want to podcast to grow their authority, become an expert, or grow their own podcast or start their own podcast. It's pretty cool to be part of that. And I'm happy to say that was a big accomplishment of last year and an ongoing process for 2026. Last thing I want to mention about 2026 is we don't just press record. We are able to strengthen your authority in your field. And I want to be clear about that messaging going forward. We don't just press record. We don't just make pretty videos. In fact, there's a lot of people out there that make even prettier videos than we do. We do make videos that convert. We do make videos that can get you an ROI. Showing up in front of camera often, showcasing your authority in the right wording, showcasing your expertise through educational content may not get 1 million views. Probably never will. But it will get you more clients. It will build you more trust, will build you more authority, which will grow your business. And that's what we focus on. I marry the creative side of me, the production side, to the business side. I marry those two. I try to bring those together for any clients we work with. Let's get you creative. Let's get you content. Let's get it in a really cool way that resonates with your client. And let's do it from a business first ROI standpoint so that it makes sense. That investment you put into your content makes sense. I'm going to get clear about that messaging going forward. We're not just a podcast studio, although if that's what you need, we're here for you, but that's not all we are. We don't just press record. We deliver results. Thanks for listening to my video. I don't know if you made it this far, but if you did, go check out bluecouchstudio.com.